Steel Gamble gets in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Steel Gamble, for getting in and supporting the show. Really do appreciate you. He said, I agree we should use the portal more, but it baffles me how people assume that that is our main problem. It's like 5% of the problem at best.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's low hanging fruit. It's easy to talk about. Everybody talks about it, and so if Clemson doesn't succeed, it's the transfer portal. If something negative happens to Clemson, it's you didn't use the transfer portal, and so it's like, but half of the people that make these kind of that make these kind of statements and make these kind of articles couldn't tell you a thing about Clemson and what they brought in the high school ranks, what they have coming back, just what. The coaching staff changes. It's been so lazy, and that's where we are. But you nailed it on the head, Steel Gamble. I mean, Clemson needs to be able to use the transfer portal when needed, and the fact that they went after guys and didn't get them is a problem. That's something that needs to be addressed. They need to be able to get guys when they feel like it's something that they need to do. They need to be able to do it and do it successfully. Because that's how other programs the other top programs are able to operate. I mean, Georgia didn't, load up in the transfer portal by any means, but they got guys here or there that they felt like they wanted and needed. So Clemson has to be able to do that. But yeah, it's not the transfer portal hasn't been the biggest contributing factor to why Clemson hasn't seen the results that people had come to expect. It's a lot deeper than
it's 100% deeper than that. And you can look at Clemson's recruiting. It is exactly the same about where it's always been through the entire Dabo Swinney era. So personnel is not necessarily the issue. Obviously, you miss on guys and things like that, but there's other things that have gone on in the program that have contributed far more than the transfer portal. I think it's one of those things that it's just easy to point to because the timeline does kind of line up, right? So it's just an easy thing to just be like, oh yeah, it's obviously the transfer portal, right? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And I think as much as Dabo is never going to be a coach that relies heavily on the transfer portal, I don't think I can honestly say that if he thought that was going to fix Clemson, that he would just completely ignore it. I don't believe that. I could be wrong, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that completely disagree with that take, but I just don't believe if he thought that was going to fix all the issues that are going on with Clemson, and that was just the easy button, that he would just continue to ignore it. But again, there's people that will disagree with that, agree with that. It'll be all over the place on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But thank you for the $5, Steel Gamble. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate the support, Steel Gamble.